Hi there. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to sit down for this masterclass with us. If you haven't picked up already, we're Vancula. We're a boutique digital marketing agency with a big heart and even bigger dreams. And despite our small start in South Africa, we've managed to make it to the UK, so we think we've done pretty well. If that wasn't enough, we've partnered with Ian Frost, who's taken up the role of Managing Director in the UK, who's got well over 3 decades worth of work under his belt. And not off the shelf, as he likes to say. His no-nonsense attitude and determination are traits we not only respect, but also work towards here at Vancula. Alongside him in the UK, a team of business development managers and account managers ensure our clients receive the best service and results. There's much more we could say, but we know that time is money and we're not here to waste either. So without further ado, please sit back and enjoy this masterclass as we walk through what we do and how it can help you. Managing social media is both a talent and a skill. While there are many social media platforms, we've identified Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn and Twitter as the best mediums for business-related communications. Being in a sphere that's constantly changing requires a skill set dedicated to finding new approaches to growth, creating fresh content and delivering reports on that activity under the pressure of time and on top of an ever-changing algorithm. At its core, the most fundamental aspect of social media management is understanding people. In order to deliver any sort of fresh, new or insightful content, one has to start with understanding what people want to see and being able to couple that with the company's goals without sacrificing on either aspect. Whether it's increasing brand awareness, fostering a growing audience, or establishing a digital presence, extensive research is done on the client, their market, and their competitors. Once that's been done, the social media team sits and brainstorms how to deliver information in ways that set the company apart from others, which would include scheduling posts to go out at times where they would reach the biggest audience. Because social media is a product of an ever-changing world, it's not an exact science, which means that there is constant monitoring of how posts perform on different accounts. Any changes in targeting are made as posts go on and audiences grow, meaning that content never stagnates or fades away. Many social media experts say, and we agree, that the key to good social media management is simply good content. People are hyper-aware of advertising or product pushing and don't respond well to it. By offering an experience or creatively selling a feeling or benefit, you remove the barrier between consumer and producer, allowing for the humanity of your brand to translate across, which has been proven time and time again to be the best way to connect to people. Search engines are a peculiar thing. Much like social media, understanding an ever-shifting algorithm is both a skill and a talent. Search engine marketing, or SEM for short, consists of 2 parts. One part of it is SEO, or search engine optimization. Much like an actual engine, SEO requires regular maintenance in order to ensure that your website is optimized and that the algorithm is happy with what you've offered. Google's code of conduct states that if something is broken, fix it. But regular checkups ensure that you don't need to worry about fixing things as much as you need to worry about maintaining them. From something as small as bug fixes to identifying the most valuable keywords and ultimately writing high-quality content, there's a constant change and shift that needs to be kept in mind. However, with over 200 ranking factors to keep in mind, it's far from easy. Much like crossing a bridge, SEO is about connecting with what you have to offer to the people you wish to offer it to. However, SEO is also a paradox. It's a tricky thing to try and find a way to please a robot designed to understand people. The best ways to do that are, firstly, by ensuring that you've got content that's interesting to read. Secondly, it needs to be optimized according to the 2,000 plus factors in order to make sure that the algorithm believes that it's user-friendly. These 2 things have to constantly be kept in mind when it comes to SEO. The other aspect of SEM is PPC. PPC, or pay-per-click, is the opposite of SEO in that it's not about organic growth. Instead, people can auction for specific keywords. If they win the bid, something which is determined by a variety of factors, their search results show up right at the top of the Google search results. But the drawback is that every time somebody clicks on that result, the owner of that site pays a fee as compensation for jumping a few steps ahead. This also extends to multimedia results like videos, which show up on places like YouTube. Whether your ads are text-based, display-based, or you're running extensive shopping campaigns, optimization is based on how the research and search engine algorithm learns and improves your ads, meaning the longer your ads run, the better they perform. SEO and PPC can function independently and together. However, whether you choose to go down either path, the goal remains the same: increase traffic and visibility for your site. Our SEM lead says that understanding search engine marketing is like walking blindfolded in the dark in the middle of a maze at night. Sometimes you need to feel your way around, but you find your way there eventually, and you learn the outlines as you go along. One of the less appreciated aspects of any website, social media post, or company in general is the work behind the design of graphics supporting those sites or platforms. Because people are visual creatures, they can't help but to focus on images before words, which is exactly why you should never underestimate the power of graphic design. The final visual, no matter how simple, requires extensive work in order to get there. That extensive work begins with research into the client and the visuals they respond positively to. Looking at what your company currently has as visuals and how they're faring will also shape the approach of any upcoming graphic design. Once that's been done, the rough drafts begin to come into being. There are no good or bad ideas here, just ones which need some work and will be saved for later. As time goes on, more and more of these drafts, or scams as they're also known, will begin to shift more towards being in line with what the brief requires. These scams are bounced around the media department, back and forth, whittling down until only a few ideas remain. After that, the final stage begins. The ideas are brought into being and aligned with other assets and elements required to create a sense of synergy, or something greater than the sum of its parts, without overloading the viewer or making them lose interest. Our graphic lead, Simon, likens graphic design to the outfit you'd wear to a first date. It can't be boring, it can't be too much, it has to represent who you are and make your intent clear, and of course, it has to be nice to look at. Alongside all of our services is copywriting. While it's definitely a powerful standalone service, it does best when it's paired with another service. Whether it's accentuating a visual or populating a website with information, the job of a copywriter is to take the words you want to say and translate that, sometimes literally, into something your target audience wants to see and read, and in this instance, hear. Being a copywriter in essence means being a mirror and a clockmaker. It starts by pulling things apart piece by piece and dismantling every phrase, word, letter, space, comma, and full stop, and then learning how to mimic it, and then learning how to change it. The first step involves extensive research. This research begins with understanding the company voice by looking at the company's website, the company history, and everything else that can be found. Once that's done, it's time to take a look at the target audience. What do they like? What do they dislike? Do they use a certain platform? What do they respond to? It's time then to figure out how to get the edge over competitors. Research is done to understand competitor messages and how well or poorly they do, compiling that to figure out what they're up against. All of this information is then taken and channeled through the company voice into a character. After all, people respond much better to people than to companies. It might take 20 minutes, might take 2 hours, it may take days at a time, but the copywriter now sits down and begins running through drafts until the perfect balance is struck between informative and interesting. That information is then given to the other members of the team to compile and organize in the right order and with the right visuals for the perfect synergy. And that's where you reach the end point. Like a great blog post, social media post, or even a script. It's that simple and that complicated. Our copy lead has much to say about copywriting, but we got him to condense it down into this. Words are friends. You need to know how to handle them, take care of them, and make sure none of them are left behind. Once you've learned to do that, you can get them to work together. Make sure they have fun. Make sure you have fun doing that too. That way, it will never be boring and it'll never sound forced. Everything we've listed up to this point forms part of our core services, but it's not all we offer. We also offer several add-on services to form the complete package, ensuring you're covered from start to finish. It's impossible to have a digital presence without a website. Of course, That's why we've got dedicated web developers and designers to create clean, efficient, and secure websites to get yourself into the digital realm. Once that happens, we've also got website hosting services to give your website a place to live. Whether we've designed it or not, it's secure and consistent, meaning you'll never have to worry about losing out on any purchases and orders with website downtime. If you've got a website or just a social media presence, we also offer branding services to give you a unique look to help you stand out from the crowd. And in the event that you've got all these needs covered, we also offer white label services, giving you time to focus on other aspects of your business while we do what we do best. Lastly, we know that every single user is a possible sale and that every journey starts with a single step. Our funnel solutions are in place to maximize all potential clients and users by channeling them back to your site through the various platforms they use. Often the best way to get ourselves ahead in any field is to start with the absolute bare bones minimum. While we can offer any service you need to get up and running, we can't determine what services you need. But we want to help you grow because we love growing too. Our very own Ian Frost has a knack for figuring out what it is that businesses need to get themselves up and running. We'd like to offer a free consulting session with our UK MD in order to establish what we can do to help you. The best idea is to cast the net small and grow from there. If you're not happy with what he suggests, you're welcome to walk away at any time. No questions asked, no obligation. And that about wraps it up. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to join us today. At the beginning of this class, we spoke about how we'd explain not only what we do, but how it could help you. The reality is that these services, while necessary, aren't really what we can offer to help you. What we offer is passion, dedication. We strive for the best, we never bite off more than we can chew, and we never cut corners. As we said, time is money, and we're not here to waste either. If you'd like to learn more, or if you'd like to work with us, we'd love to start a chain reaction with you. Until next time, safe travels and cheers.